Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Dunkirk. Dunkirk is the latest from fan favorite and acclaimed director Christopher Nolan. And it's been a little bit of time since we've had a Christopher Nolan directed feature, so I was looking forward to this. The trailers were amazing, and this made my most anticipated films of the year list for 2017. So, did it live up to all of the hype? Short answer? Yeah, it did. So let's go ahead and jump right into those positives. On every single technical category, this film is virtually perfect. Sound editing, sound mixing, astonishing. So good. Film editing, perfect. Cinematography, are you kidding me? This film was gorgeous, like just mind-blowingly beautiful. And I saw this in 70mm, but no theaters here in Colorado are showing it in 70mm IMAX. And as I was watching, especially during the aerial scenes, I sat there planning my trip to come back and see it again in IMAX this time, because 70mm was fantastic and beautiful. But I need to experience those scenes in IMAX. Special effects, wonderful. Score and all music, great. Literally every single technical category, Dunkirk succeeds in spades. I think it is virtually perfect on a technical standing ground, which in and of itself is amazing. And of course, that all comes to head with Christopher Nolan himself as the director of the film. He did a wonderful job. He directed the hell out of Dunkirk, and it looked beautiful, it looked amazing for it. And the fact that it was hitting on all cylinders in every technical category, and also including directing, made this movie start to finish thrilling. More so than something like a war drama, this felt like a thriller set in a war. Your heart just starts beating right off the bat and doesn't stop racing until we finally conclude with the film. And when I saw the runtime was under 2 hours, I was a little bit shocked, because this is a war movie directed by Christopher Nolan. I feel like in any normal circumstance, we'd be approaching 3 hours. But after seeing the film, I understand completely why we're only at 1:47. I don't think the audience could handle a whole nother hour of this. I think your heart would literally just explode from the thrills and the tension and the pace going on here. But also the type of story they're telling served well to this shorter time frame. So Dunkirk comes up nearly perfect in every single category when it comes to filmmaking, except for one, and it's kind of a big one. So the only negative when it comes to Dunkirk is the script and story narrative. This script does next to nothing to establish any character in this movie. And it doesn't really hinder it all that much, but as we hit the climax of the story, as we're hitting this peak of war, if you will, these emotional scenes would hit so much harder if we cared, if we knew these people that we were following around. And we don't. We don't know their backstory. We don't know who they are. And in some cases, they haven't really proven to be like stand-up people. They just kind of were there in front of the camera and we started following them. So it's hard to have the proper emotional stakes. The characters are just another face in the crowd at the end of the day. I do think it is a feat, because you do kind of get emotionally swept into that finale, but I think it's just from a human perspective. You want to see other humans live. You want to see other humans succeed. It just would have been that much more impactful if we had had any time with these characters, if we knew anything about any of them. And the story structure itself is also very strange. It was a little bit hard to follow for a second as we just jumped around in time without anything really distinguishing where we are here, where we are there in the time frame. But once you get the hang of it, it's fine. I mean, I think it works perfectly well. The problem in the storytelling aspect is that it doesn't really follow a 3-act structure. It doesn't really follow a through line. There's not really a story being told here. So we follow all of these different people and we get to a conclusion, we get to an end, and technically there's a beginning because we start filming, but there's no actual story that we're ever following. And in that, this is a true story about Dunkirk and a significant part of this war, but you don't really learn anything about the events of Dunkirk. Again, by not knowing anything about any of these characters, I was left kind of wondering, were these all made up characters? I can't imagine they were real people that, actually did stuff in Dunkirk. But maybe I'm wrong. You may never know because the movie doesn't tell you. The movie doesn't let you know. Are you watching actual people's journeys? Are you watching fictional stories within a true event that took place? I left knowing pretty much exactly as much as I knew heading into the film about the events in Dunkirk. And in a lot of ways, I do think that it is a shame that we didn't establish if these were real people or not, because there were heroes, and as you do get to see a little bit in this film, there were civilian heroes who took up to help win this battle, who went in to help save these other soldiers, and they're still nameless, faceless people. They're not given any recognition, they're not given any shine for the heroic acts they did. And I think that that's a bit of a shame. We could have really highlighted a civilian who did great things, or at least given some shout outs at the end. There was a very vague shout out, but nothing much. With all of that being said on the story and script, I really loved this film. In the end, Christopher Nolan set out to tell a story that takes place in the scope of a single day. And since he is so focused in on this one event and this one time frame, the story structure and character development aren't as big of a deal as they normally would be. We move at such a quick pace. You are so enthralled in what is happening. The action is just nonstop, and the thrill of the entire film never relents, so you don't really have time to pause and think. And in so many ways, including pretty literally when we're in the sky with Tom Hardy, he puts you into the atmosphere. The clicking of that clock moving, all of the musical choices, the shot selection, all keeps you moving at a very frenetic, making you feel in a lot of ways like you're right there in the trenches. So you don't have time to sit there and ponder this person's past, or who is this, or why do I care about them. He puts you in that moment of feeling these emotions and feeling the panic and the thrill and the survival mode that these soldiers realistically would have and still do in other wars feel. So in the end, I recommend seeing Dunkirk at full price, and not only at full price, see it on an IMAX screen, see it in 70mm. This movie is so beautiful. The cinematography really is mind-blowing how great it is. So see this on the biggest screen you possibly can, the clearest picture you can grab, the best sound system. This is a pure technical tour de force across the board and deserves to be seen with the best equipment you can see it in. So, that has been my review of Dunkirk. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Dunkirk? Have you already seen it? If you have, what did you think? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!